the world awoke to astonishing news. Pope Francis was gone. The announcement came as a shock to many, as there had been no public indication of his declining health. The Vatican, usually a place of whispers and secrets, had managed to keep this under wraps until the very last moment. A new leader ascended to the throne of St. Peter. The transition was swift, almost too swift for the faithful to comprehend. It was as if the Vatican had been preparing for this moment in secret, ready to unveil a new chapter in its long history. Not under the midday sun, but under a cloak of midnight, Luis Antonio Tagle became Pope. The faithful gasped. Why this sudden transition? The timing was unusual, breaking from the tradition of daytime ceremonies. It was as if the night itself was chosen to symbolize a new era, shrouded in mystery and anticipation. What secrets did the Vatican walls hold? The suddenness was disarming. The faithful and the curious alike were left to wonder what had transpired behind those ancient walls. Was there a hidden agenda? Or was it simply the natural course of events in an institution known for its secrecy? It was a stark contrast to the long drawn-out process of papal succession we've come to expect. The usual period of mourning and deliberation seemed to have been bypassed, replaced by an urgency that was both unsettling and intriguing. A sense of mystery hung in the air. The fog that enveloped St. Peter's Square seemed to mirror the uncertainty and speculation that filled the minds of the faithful. What did this mean for the future of the Church? What changes would the new Pope bring? It was as though time itself had been compressed, forcing the world to confront the reality of change head-on. The rapid succession left little room for reflection, pushing everyone to adapt quickly to the new reality. From the Vatican, whispers escaped like startled doves. Rumors and speculations spread like wildfire, each more fantastical than the last. The faithful clung to any piece of information, trying to make sense of the rapid changes. The health of Pope Francis had declined swiftly. His once robust presence had waned, leaving a void that needed to be filled urgently. The weight of his responsibilities had taken a toll, both physically and emotionally. The weight of the papacy, too heavy for even his strong shoulders. The burden of leading the world's Catholics had become too much, necessitating a swift and decisive transition. Whispers turned to prayers, anxieties to hopes. The faithful gathered in chapels and churches, seeking solace and guidance in these uncertain times. Their prayers were for strength, for wisdom, and for a smooth transition. A new chapter was beginning. The night of the coronation marked the end of one era and the beginning of another. The faithful watched with bated breath, ready to embrace the changes that lay ahead. The world watched bewildered as the Vatican remained tight-lipped. The unusual hour of the coronation only fueled speculation. Why midnight? Why the veil of secrecy? History, it seemed, was unfolding in shadows. Some pointed to the fragility of Pope Francis's health, a truth whispered for months. Others murmured about internal pressures, forces within the Church eager for a new direction. The truth, like the scent of incense, lingered just out of reach. The timing, however, spoke volumes. Midnight, a time of endings and beginnings, of darkness giving way to light. It suggested a need for swift action, a desire to usher in a new era before uncertainty could take root. Inside the hallowed halls of St. Peter's Basilica, time seemed to stand still. The ancient rituals unfolded, each gesture heavy with centuries of tradition. Cardinals, cloaked in scarlet, moved with an air of solemn purpose. The weight of history pressed down, a tangible presence in the air. Here in this sacred space, countless popes had been crowned, their reigns shaping the destiny of the Catholic Church. Tonight, history was being written once more. The papal garments, symbols of authority and service, were placed upon Pope Tagle's shoulders. The fisherman's ring, a reminder of Peter's humble beginnings, adorned his finger. He was in that moment a living link in an unbroken chain stretching back to the apostles. Silence fell. The weight of expectation was palpable as Pope Tagle turned to face the world. His voice, soft yet steady, resonated through the basilica, carrying a message of unity and hope. He spoke of the challenges facing the Church and the world: poverty, injustice, the growing chasm between faith and reason. But his words were not those of despair, but of a shepherd calling his flock to action. He called for a church that was open and welcoming, a church that embraced dialogue, and served the poor. He spoke of the need for compassion and understanding, for a renewed commitment to justice and peace. His words, imbued with the spirit of the gospel, offered a vision of a church renewed. From Manila to the world, a symphony of joy and expectation. News of the midnight coronation rippled across the globe, igniting celebrations from Manila to Mexico City. In the Philippines, Tagle's homeland, church bells pealed and fireworks lit up the night sky. World leaders, both religious and secular, sent messages of congratulations, acknowledging the historic nature of the event. Social media platforms buzzed with activity, hashtags like #Pope Tagle and #New Era trending worldwide. The world watched with a mixture of curiosity and anticipation. Who was this man who had captured the papacy in such an unprecedented manner? What did his leadership mean for the future of the Catholic Church? The weight of the world. Challenges and opportunities for a global church. Pope Tagle's papacy began in a time of unprecedented challenges for the Catholic Church. The world was rapidly changing, and the Church had to navigate through a myriad of complex issues. From the digital revolution to shifting cultural norms, the landscape was vastly different from what it had been just a few decades ago. Internal divisions, dwindling congregations in the West, and the rise of secularism all cast long shadows over the Vatican. The Church faced criticism from various quarters, questioning its relevance in a modern, increasingly secular world. The challenge was not just to maintain its influence, but to find new ways to connect with people. Yet, amidst these challenges, opportunities beckoned. The growing Catholic populations in South America, Africa, and parts of Asia offered a beacon of hope. These regions were vibrant with faith and presented a chance for the Church to rejuvenate its mission. The potential for growth and renewal was immense. The Church, under Pope Tagle's leadership, had the chance to redefine its role in the 21st century. This was a pivotal moment, a crossroads where the Church could either retreat into its traditional strongholds or boldly step forward to engage with the world in new and meaningful ways. It could become a powerful voice for the voiceless, a beacon of hope in a world increasingly shrouded in darkness. By addressing social injustices, advocating for the marginalized, and promoting peace and reconciliation, the Church could play a transformative role in global society. The new Pope faced a delicate balancing act, upholding tradition while embracing change, engaging with a modern world without compromising the core tenets of the faith. This required wisdom, courage, and a deep understanding of both the past and the present. It was a daunting task, yet one that Tagle, with his reputation for humility and compassion, seemed uniquely suited for. His ability to connect with people from all walks of life, his deep empathy, and his unwavering commitment to the core values of the Church made him a beacon of hope for many. The journey ahead was fraught with challenges, but also filled with immense possibilities. A legacy forged in humility and compassion. The promise of Pope Tagle. Throughout his career, Luis Antonio Tagle had earned a reputation as a man of the people. From his early days as a young priest in Manila, he was known for his genuine smile and his ability to connect with everyone he met. Whether he was interacting with children in the bustling streets or offering solace in the poorest neighborhoods, his presence was always a source of comfort and hope. His humility was legendary, his compassion boundless. Tagle's approach to his vocation was marked by a profound sense of service and dedication. He often spent hours in deep prayer and contemplation, seeking guidance and strength to serve his flock better. His humility was not just a trait, but a way of life, influencing every decision he made and every action he took. He was, in the words of many, a shepherd after the heart of Christ. His ability to comfort those in distress, to offer a listening ear, and to engage in heartfelt conversations made him a beloved figure among his parishioners. His deep empathy and understanding were evident in every interaction, reflecting the very essence of Christ's teachings. His work with the poor and marginalized in the Philippines had earned him international acclaim. Tagle's commitment to social justice and his tireless efforts to uplift the downtrodden were recognized globally. He was often seen in the most impoverished areas, offering not just material aid but also spiritual support, reminding everyone of their inherent dignity and worth. He was known for his ability to connect with people from all walks of life, his warmth and sincerity transcending cultural and linguistic barriers. Tagle's inclusive approach and genuine interest in understanding different cultures and perspectives made him a unifying figure. His ability to speak multiple languages and his deep respect for diverse traditions allowed him to build bridges and foster a sense of global community. This deep-seated compassion, coupled with his sharp intellect and theological acumen, made him an ideal candidate to lead the Church into a new era. Tagle's scholarly pursuits and his thoughtful reflections on contemporary issues demonstrated his readiness to address the challenges of modern times. His writings and teachings were not only profound but also accessible, resonating with both the laity and the clergy. He possessed a rare combination of pastoral sensitivity and intellectual rigor, a blend that was essential for navigating the complexities of the 21st century. As he delivered sermons in dimly lit churches or taught in classrooms, his words carried a weight of wisdom and compassion. His vision for the Church was one of inclusivity, understanding, and unwavering faith, making him a beacon of hope for many. A church renewed, navigating the path of reform and dialogue. The world looked to Pope Tagle with a mix of hope and trepidation. Could he be the reformer many believed the Church desperately needed? Could he bridge the growing divides within its ranks and chart a new course for the future? His first actions would be crucial. Would he address the calls for greater transparency and accountability within the Vatican? Would he revisit long-held doctrines on issues such as celibacy and the role of women in the Church? Many hoped that Tagle's papacy would usher in an era of greater dialogue and inclusivity. They yearned for a church that was more welcoming to LGBTQ+ individuals, more engaged with issues of social justice, and more open to different interpretations of faith. Dawn of a new era, a legacy yet to be written. The midnight coronation of Pope Tagle marked the beginning of a new chapter in the long and storied history of the Catholic Church. It was a moment pregnant with possibility, a time of both uncertainty and hope. Only time would tell what legacy Pope Tagle would leave on the papacy. But one thing was certain: the Church he inherited was at a crossroads. The decisions he made, the reforms he enacted, would reverberate for generations to come. As dawn broke over Rome, bathing the eternal city in a golden light, the world held its breath. A new era had begun. The future of the Catholic Church, once shrouded in uncertainty, now shimmered with the promise of a new dawn. Please subscribe to our channel History Documentary Hub for more insightful videos and intriguing content.